last year in 2025, we did over $60 million in sales. And I attribute a large portion of that to our online and social media presence that we had. Yeah, super excited to get into this.
60 million in sales. And for those who don't know, the average agent, 70% of agents in 2025 didn't do a single deal. The average agent does anywhere between 5 to 10 million in sales. You guys did 60 over 39 transactions, I believe. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
What's the biggest misconception buyers and sellers have today about how real estate sales actually work?
Yeah, that couldn't be further from the truth anymore. Might have worked during COVID when everyone was, frenzied to get up here and buy homes. But yeah, in 2025 and going into 2026, the strategy has to be completely different. I mean, we're looking at cinematic video, trying to tell a story about the home, getting it seen by more viewers online, because the MLS is just one spot that people look.
Welcome back to the Reno-Tahoe Real Estate Insider. Today, we're talking about how social media and online visibility impact every real estate deal. Today, I'm sitting down with Carson Long of Tahoe Luxe Living. Carson, thanks for joining me. For people who don't know you yet, can you give us the short, quick version of who you are, what you do, and the clients that you work with?
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Shay. I'm super excited to get into this. I'm Carson Long. I'm a Incline Village real estate agent here in town, part of the Isaac Mountain Luxury team with Compass. And last year in 2025, we did over $60 million in sales. And I attribute a large portion of that to our online and social media presence that we had. Yeah, super excited to get into this.
60 million in sales. And for those who don't know, the average agent, 70% of agents in 2025 didn't do a single deal. The average agent does anywhere between 5 to 10 million in sales. You guys did 60 over 39 transactions, I believe. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. And then you said a lot of that is attributed to social media and online visibility. I heard a stat from you guys, I think toward the latter end of 2025, you guys had a month where you did how many impressions online?
Yeah, in December of 2025, we did 150,000 views across all of our platforms. That includes Instagram, TikTok, and the main source is our website.
Wow, 150,000 impressions online. That's a serious amount, especially for a small town in Lake Tahoe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Only has 10,000 people in it a lot of times. So, let's get right into it. A lot of people still think real estate sales is just getting professional photos and listing a property on the MLS or Zillow. What's the biggest misconception buyers and sellers have today about how real estate sales actually works?
Yeah, that couldn't be further from the truth anymore. Might have worked during COVID when everyone was, frenzied to get up here and buy homes. But yeah, in 2025 and going into 2026, the strategy has to be completely different. I mean, we're looking at cinematic video, trying to tell a story about the home, getting it seen by more viewers online, because the MLS is just one spot that people look, but you want to catch them when they're looking up info online about whether it's Lake Tahoe real estate or just Lake Tahoe in general. It's a good way to catch as many viewers as possible. You want to try and fill your buyer pool with as many views as you can.
So it seems like and I'll dub it old school, but the old school way of doing things was photos, list it, right?
Yeah.
Now there's such an opportunity for so many other people to see properties and to hear the story behind them and understand the lifestyle behind them due to the online presence that folks have.
Yeah.
How does social media and online visibility actually impact a real estate deal today?
Yeah. Social media is a good way for buyers to start kicking around the idea of real estate. They'll look up more information about, the buying process or even just what homes might look like in Incline Village. And that's a good way for your home to get seen. And I've had a few buyers reach out through social media that, they might have not bought the home that was posted. It might not be your home that they end up buying, but it's a good way for them to get in touch with real estate agents. And then eventually they'll buy a home down the road that they see.
Would you say quite a few buyers, they start out their search on social, maybe they're just browsing and they see something they like, oh, wow, that looks.
Yeah. I would say, probably at least I would say half of people now they're not probably buying a home off of social media by any means, but it is where they're starting to kick around, look up questions. And that's where you want to be seen, is on social media, So you want to just do what you can to have your home seen by as many people as possible.
Can you think of a deal where online visibility or social media clearly made a difference? Is there a
Yeah.
specific story you might have?
For me personally, I would say we have one that's in escrow right now, 1014 Saturn Court. I'm sure you've probably seen it. It's been on the market since I think 2023 originally. And we took it over towards the end of summer this year and got it all ready, did it. We put a few videos out on social media, and it got seen by, I'd have to go and check the numbers for sure, but off the top of my head, I know it was seen by at least 35,000 viewers. Had a ton of inquiries about it, and then we're representing the buyer on it now too, because they saw it on social media, or they saw it on the website. I won't say that it was totally attributed to like Instagram, but they saw it on the website. So the online presence was there for that home. And now we're representing both sides on that and getting that deal to come together finally after it being through multiple hands.
Yeah, it had been on the market for a while, and then
long time, yeah.
Due to the online visibility, it gained some traction.
It did, yeah. And I have seen, not so much in our market yet. I'm sure it will happen eventually, because we're getting more inquiries every day through social media about buyers looking for homes up here. But I have seen multiple deals in areas like Phoenix, kind of your bigger areas, where social media, that's where the buyer found the home and they purchased it fully. They found it on social media, reached out to the agent, and that's how they got the home. It wasn't through Zillow, or it wasn't through homes.com or any of those websites.
Wow. Okay. So social media every day is taking more and more market share of where buyers are finding properties.
Yeah.
I know as a younger, we're both younger, right? Younger compared to most agents in Tahoe and in Incline specifically are, I would say average age is 50 plus easily. How does that knowledge of social media and knowledge of online visibility and knowledge of SEO, all things online, help a buyer or let's say a seller in this case?
Yeah.
How does that help market a property compared to the older school ways of doing things?
I think it's huge now. I mean, when you type in anything on Incline Village, our goal is to have our website come up, whether you're, asking a question about even a restaurant, or if it is real estate related, which we hope it is, having our website come up so you can learn about us, learn about what we do, and then find our sellers' homes on our website. Because if you look at the front page, that's where we have all of our featured properties. So gets you more views that way. And that's just huge. SEO is going to change the game. It already has changed the game.
Have you seen situations where the lack of an online presence for a property actually hurt someone's outcome selling?
I think pretty much any expired listing that you can find in Incline Village, I would put the argument out there that the lack of online presence could be a huge reason why it didn't sell. It could be the price or other reasons, but I would say that it never hurts to have more views. So social media, it can't hurt your home to have your home on social media, right?
Yeah.
So,
and is that an expense you guys typically cover?
Yeah, always. Yeah. We'll cover all the marketing. So we do your classic, your photos. We do twilight photos, the sunset, make it look pretty as possible for places like Zillow. But we do the cinematic videography, which is not cheap to do. But it's absolutely worth it. It's the storytelling behind the home. Every home in Incline Village needs its own story. Mm-hmm. And that's something we do.
Okay. And then, so do you guys front that cost up front and then it gets reimbursed upon sale, or do you just cover it?
We just cover it. We cover it completely. So that's part of when you hire us, that's part of our, listing agreement. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic deal for somebody that's looking to sell. Cause it's not cheap. What, talking about old versus new, right? Old school versus new school. And do you mind putting that bottle on the ground? I apologize.
Yeah, no worries. Is the side good?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. Yeah.
I was worried that it might be in the shot, but it's all good if it is. It doesn't matter. We're just shout out Rayleigh's.
There we go.
Yeah. Rayleigh's, you're going to have to send us some money for that. We're marketing for you. Talking about old school versus new school, what's changed in the last few years that makes digital presence so much more important now?
Yeah.
I know we touched on how many people are on socials, how many people are searching Google, ChatGPT, all those things. Yeah. What makes digital presence so much more important now?
Yeah. More and more people every day are jumping online. They're, like we just talked about a few minutes ago, starting to kick around the idea on social media. So it's a good way to just have your presence there and, help your sellers out by getting more views there.
Do you guys feel like whenever you're going to list a property for a seller, do you think through, hey, here's the type of buyer that we think might be interested in this property? Do you start to position it that way online?
We
Is
do.
there a whole psychoanalysis behind it of, hey, here's the price point it's at. It's, maybe it's in this neighborhood that has these features.
Yeah, absolutely. Like one of them that comes to mind is we had a home down in Lakeview Lakeview's a pricey neighborhood. People want the lots there because they're larger, but this home specifically was and is going to probably be torn down and built into a newer home, or remodeled at least, to expand and, get the value out of the lot. And that's something that we always, if it's a home like that, we always try to price point it, market it, and kind of spin it in a way that, yes, that's your main buyer on a place like that is probably going to be a contractor or a developer that can see the vision and come in and actually do the work to bring that vision to life. Versus, if you have a turnkey ready home that has a massive lake view, or a lake view like that, you're going to be marketing more to your person that has the money. They're not really wanting to do too much work. They really just want that vacation home or full-time residence, whatever it is. They want to come up here, turn the key, and start living.
Right.
So
Okay.
we always try to tell the story and whatever will fit best.
Yeah, so you can tell pretty quickly upon seeing a property, hey, here's who would likely buy this, and then you start to tell that story around
Yeah,
what they would want.
absolutely. Yeah, that's something we're always going to try and do with our videos. And another thing that's changing is places like YouTube. And this is just something that I've seen, is YouTube is the second most visited website in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And 10 years ago, or even 5 years ago, people like my dad's age, who's in his, mid 50s, he was not on YouTube doing anything. And now every time I go visit him, he's showing me some video on YouTube. So I think the older generations are starting to come around and start using those websites more often. Even like Instagram, my mom's on Instagram now. 5 years ago, she wasn't on Instagram.
Right.
So I think the older generations are starting to come around on that, like more so they were on Facebook. Now they're starting to go into these other apps that, younger generations grew up with.
Certainly. I wonder how much COVID had an impact on that. Everyone having to be kind of cooped up inside.
It probably was huge. I bet.
People start exploring other places on.
Had more time than they wanted on their hands.
Yeah, exactly. I want to touch base again on, can you think of a deal where online visibility clearly made a difference? Do you have any sort of other listing or do you have any other listing stories where you guys went in, you took your strategy in, and it either sold quickly or it sold after someone else wasn't able to sell it? You don't have to give any addresses or any specific properties, but
we have two. The one that I spoke about up there off of Saturn Court, and then one right down the street from it on Apollo Way. That one also is another one that we took over after it failed to sell the first time. And we came in there, we did some social media videos for it, and we got it under contract within, I think that one was in contract in 45 days about.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So is that the pitch to the seller? Hey, look, here's what was not going.
Yeah.
Right. Here's what we're going to do. Here's our track record. I think this is going to work.
I think it's a huge part of our presentation. I mean, it doesn't hurt to, have the extra views, like I said, and just why would you not go with an agent that is going to do the extra work for you?
And that is a good segue into more of the younger demographic. Here in Incline, it's a little bit older, like I said, a real estate demographic as far as agents go, but there's more. And when I say younger, I'm talking, 35 or under, age-wise, more of a younger presence coming into the market and making an impact on the agent side.
There definitely is, yes.
I see the tides turning. I think the old ways of marketing are starting to fade, and the new ways of being online and being seen and getting those eyeballs online is making such a huge difference. And seeing that in yours and Cole's numbers, I think that tells the story of what's happening. And so as far as having a strong online presence, how does that actually support building real relationships with clients? I know that's a little bit of a tough question, but you've got clients that you say you're going to come in and you're going to do these things for them, right? how does that help build the relationship? Do they appreciate that? Are they able to see the vision and say, okay, wow, these guys are really working hard for me? Yeah. Tell me a little bit about how it
Yeah.
helps build the relationship.
I mean, I would just say like my Instagram is kind of like a resume that buyers can even go and see what we do before they even speak to us. And I think it's a good way to build trust in a relationship with your buyers or sellers before they ever reach out. It's something that the ball's in their court. They see what you do and they can make the decision whether or not you're going to be for them or if they want to reach out to you in the first place. So I think it's a good way to, it's like an icebreaker almost, that you can look someone up online now and see exactly what they do, how much they do. And
you can get a feel for people too.
Yeah. I think it's a nice way.
I think that's the best part of it, is just being able to
Yeah.
understand, like, okay, I understand how this guy thinks or how this girl thinks, how they move and shake. And
Yeah.
you
See
don't
if
have
it's a
to
good
reach
fit.
out to them to understand that. You can see it from
Yeah.
afar and then decide to reach out.
Exactly. Yeah. You can see if it's a good fit before you reach out.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. From a buyer's perspective, how does an agent's online presence help them find better opportunities or move faster?
Yeah.
I know you guys at Compass have, you have your own software on the back end that allows you to have off-market listings, right?
We do. Yeah. Which we attribute, our first close of the year in 2026 was an off-market deal, which was fully because of the Compass platform, which is awesome. But I think the social media part of it is other agents see me online and they're able to know like the homes that I'm going into and just the presence that I have in the market. They'll reach out to me if they have something, or I can reach out to them. And that's just a good way for me to help a buyer find more opportunity that probably is not on the market.
Yeah, let's peel that onion a little bit. How important is inter-agent relationships? How does that help buyers?
It's huge. I mean, we're all in here to, help push the business forward. I think having good relationships with agents at other brokerages just throughout town is huge. And even outside of town, like, Lake Tahoe's biggest feeder market's the Bay Area. So we have relationships with agents down there that are, if they have a client wanting to move up here, they know who to contact and see if we have what they're looking for.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are able to sift through properties between agents, and when you're online, you help stay top of mind for your buyers. You're basically staying top of mind in the market on behalf of your buyers.
Exactly.
Helping them find what they want. Interesting. From a seller's side, how does the strong digital marketing and visibility change the outcome of a sale? I know we've touched on it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this is a little bit of a redundant question, but
yeah, I think our website is a huge part of that. Like I said, if you search anything to do with Incline Village, hopefully our website's going to come up. I know it does for most real estate related topics, at least. And that's just someone that's kicking around the idea or actually is looking to buy a home. They're going to click on our website, and it's one of the only agent websites that aren't, it's not compass.com or realtor.com or homes.com. It's mountainluxuryliving.com. And when you click on it, it's an agent run website. So, it's someone specifically in that market that is in it every single day.
So it's not just a generic.
Yeah. It's not a portal. It's
right. It's about putting the right message in front of the right people. And so, as a buyer and a seller, I could see how that is extremely beneficial. You've got listings, off-market listings too with Compass. There's a huge back-end portal that shows all that. So pairing that with your buyers, I could see how that's extremely strong. Like Reno reminds me of of a mini Bay Area because it's landlocked. There's mountains all around it. There's only so much land you can build on. You can build to the north and to definitely the east, but you're getting further and further out from actual Reno proper, which reminds me of the Bay. That's why price points in the Bay are $1 million plus, is because there's so much demand, but you can't build. You can't really build. So
same thing in Reno.
I see Reno in 10 years being, a starter home being $700,000.
Yeah.
$700,000.
In certain areas it already is. Like starter homes right now up in like North Valleys or Spanish Springs, you're probably 25 minutes out of town by then and longer when you're getting home after work. I know the traffic going up to North Valleys is, I know I have a few friends that live up there that they hate it. They're trying to get out of there as soon as possible because,
where do they go then?
I don't know where they would go, to be honest with you. That's the problem because Northwest Reno, South Reno, like the Monte Ranch area, those our starter home is already 700,000 plus,
Right.
if not more.
The more jobs that move in that are, the Teslas, the Amazons,
Yeah.
all those, the more it's just going to drive demand, especially if actual software companies start moving in.
Yeah.
That's where the big demand comes from.
Yeah. They're supposed to be. I've heard of a few big ones coming, but I think places like Fernley are actually going to start growing bigger, because I know there's the east side of Reno is a lot of BLM land.
Right.
And you can't, I mean, unless they're going to sell off that land, it's not going to get developed. So
that's a good point.
That's a huge part of, like,
landlocked.
Yeah. Like right where those hills are. I mean, you can build out Pyramid Highway for a little bit longer, but then you're going to hit the native reservation.
Right.
And that's that. I mean,
this is Bay Area 2.0. That's why I say
it really is.
Bay. And I moved out to Tahoe because I was young and wanted to ski, right? I snowboard, but that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
And then I figured out there's careers and paths to have a life here. And so I stayed, but Reno, I would put up against any other mountain city as one of the most convenient mountain cities in the country. You've got Denver. Okay. So it's a couple hours to Summit County out of Denver. Yeah. You can hit A Basin or whatever's right there on the Continental Divide.
Mm-hmm.
But during a snowstorm, forget it. It's going to take multiple hours. You've got Park City. The canyons are bottlenecked. There's one way in and one way out. So once traffic hits, forget it. And then you've got, what are other major ski destinations that have cities with them? Jackson's pretty remote. Jackson's
right up there with Incline Village prices, if actually higher.
Yeah, Jackson's
Yeah. And
there's no major.
That's a town, not even a city, right?
Yeah, there's no major city.
Maybe Boise. Boise would be.
Boise, yeah.
I don't think they have the ski resorts that we do, though.
But it's multiple hours away.
Yeah.
From Boise, the nearest good ski resort, right? So the fact that you could live in North Reno and be at Squaw or Sugar Bowl or wherever in Truckee in 30, 45 minutes, or you can live in South Reno and be at Rose or Diamond Peak, or even you could go through Carson and hit Heavenly or Kirkwood within, if you're in South Reno and you're going to Rose, gosh, you're there in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for the prices, I still think Reno is highly undervalued.
It is.
Because of that. Why? Yeah. Mark my words. Come back in 5 to 10 years. It's.
Yeah. I think Reno's absolutely. And as more people find out about Reno, it's only going to get, the price point's only going to go higher. I think if you love the outdoors at all, hiking, fishing on the Truckee River or any of the, dozens of lakes we have around, it's hard to beat.
I think it's a top 3 outdoor city in America.
Yes.
And people still don't know that.
No, they just think of downtown, the casinos.
They think of dusty old Reno 911.
Yeah.
Reno 911 is what has kept prices low for all these years. I'm telling you. I'm not from Northern Nevada, so I have an outsider's perspective, and it's people that don't live here that are moving in. That didn't grow up here that are moving in. And that's exactly it. You hear Reno and it's instantly Reno 911, or it's like a lesser Vegas, right?
Yeah.
Just the casinos and
it's a cheap Vegas. Yeah. That's what I thought about before my aunt and uncle moved up here when I was like 5 or 6 years old. And we'd come up and visit them, and it was always like a fun event when we were coming up. So that's the only reason that I really knew about Reno and knew I wanted to go to UNR for school and be up in this area. And then once I actually lived here, it was game over. I wasn't leaving.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Once people discover it, it's, again, I still think Reno's highly undervalued. I still think Incline's highly undervalued. I know that's crazy to say, but hear me out. The tax advantages of being in Nevada. Incline doesn't have a walkable downtown. It doesn't have hardly any shopping. It's got some, mostly thrift stores. If that ever comes to Incline, if there's ever a walkable area with shopping and forget it. It's Park City, it's Jackson, it
would be huge. Yeah.
It's Aspen, it's all those things.
Yes. Yeah. I know a lot of people from this area go, like, date nights is in Truckee and because of the walkable downtown. But yeah, if we ever get that, like where Christmas Tree Village is, or
if somebody ever went to, let's say, the village, I think where the post office is, if someone went in there and basically redeveloped all that and put mixed use condos, right, with stuff, shopping and restaurants on the bottom floor, and then you've got livable space above that, and then like made that a thing and then connected that kind of to like Lakeshore because it's pretty close. Or yeah, Christmas Tree Village if they like went in and redid something there and then just made that whole strip like.
I'm kind of surprised there hasn't been something.
I'm not pro develop. Like I like the fact that it's sleepy.
Yeah, I like it too.
But I'm just saying, if that were to ever happen, watch out because it would go nuts.
It would
go nuts. So they're already redoing the Calneva, which is huge. And then if they ever redo the Biltmore, I mean, that corridor right there is going to be.
And I personally like that it's been kind of closed. I like cutting over to Kings Beach quicker, but
yeah,
it would be nice to have something there for sure. So I am excited for the change, but I also have kind of enjoyed the, chaos that's left it untouched for a while.
I mean, the price points in Incline are still not, they're still very high, but yeah, I still think it's highly undervalued in my opinion compared to other places like a Park City or a Jackson. I just think it's got the same capability, just it doesn't have that it factor because of the lack of shopping in walkable areas. So
for sure. Yeah, definitely.
That's my 2 cents. Market for Reno, market for Incline. If it happens in the future, you can come back and be like, "Shay, you were right." We'll just refer back to this video. But anyways, okay, back to the podcast. When someone's choosing an agent or a lender today, I'm a lender, but if someone's choosing an agent, what should they look for beyond years of experience?
It's more important, I think, to have up-to-date marketing tactics. Your agent should, if your agent comes and gives you a presentation and they say, I'm going to put your home on the MLS and we're going to take really good photos, and then that's their presentation, you should run. They need to give you, first off, that's the bare minimum. They need to be giving you videography, show you their online presence, how they're going to actually market it. Are they going to come in and do that cinematic video and give it a good story? Because in Incline Village, I mean, people buying at this price point, chances are this isn't their first home that they're buying. They're probably, like you said earlier, in their 50s or 60s, probably bought multiple homes and they know what they're looking at. They're highly educated. So you want your home to stand out however it can. It needs to have its own story. So I think that's a huge thing to look out for.
I do think there's a sweet spot of experience plus age to the fact where I'm 30. I grew up with social media. Everyone my age has social media. Everyone north and south of my age has social media. There's that sweet spot there. I feel like from 35, around 25 to 40, where it's like, oh, you know how the internet functions. The buyer journey, the seller journey online. Like having that young, and I say young, it's really not that young, but having that fresh marketing perspective is so huge.
Yeah.
If you could give one piece of advice to buyers or sellers navigating today's market, what would it be?
Just pair with someone that you trust. At the end of the day, you're making a huge decision to buy a home or sell a home. And you want someone in your corner that is going to go to bat for you every single day and do the right thing. They're not looking out for their next, commission check. They're wanting to build their reputation and do everything they can to hopefully, get your referral down the line. They want to make your experience as good as possible. So just getting with someone that you trust is, I think, the best thing you can do.
Excellent. Where can people follow you or connect with you if they want to work with you?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at Lake Tahoe Agent, and then look up my website. It's TahoeLuxLiving.com. Or if you just want to send me a text with a question, give me a call. It's 775-298-1270. Or my email is carson@mtnluxuryliving.com.
Excellent. Carson, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for
Appreciate all the insight, and we'll talk soon.
Awesome. Thank you.